Manipur Valley declared as distributed area. So this is a document from 1978, 0908 1978. It was a short notice question. Manipur Valley declared as distributed area. SHRI YADVENDRA, DUTT, SHRI NAWAB Singh CHAUHAN, SHRI SAUGATA Roy. Will the Minister of Home Affairs be pleased to state whether it is a fact that the entire Manipur Valley has been declared as disturbed area and violence on a larger scale has broken out, the reasons thereof and tribes involved, and the steps government are taking to check it. The Minister of State in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Shri DHANIK Lal Mandal. A statement is laid on the table of the House. Statement. According to the information received from the Government of Manipur, 5 violent incidents occurred in the central district of the state during the last 2 months. On 5th June, a petrol pump at Sangaiprou was robbed of approximately Rs 7,000. During the robbery, 2 country-made pistols were used. On the 29th June, 1 Jamadar of Manipur Rifles was shot at and injured seriously, and his pistol was snatched. On 17 July, 1 sub-inspector of police and a constable were shot at in Imphal town. The inspector died on the spot while the constable succumbed to his injuries after reaching the hospital. The culprits took away the inspector's revolver. On 18 July, at about 11:30 hours, the United Bank of India Imphal Branch was robbed of Rs 19,270. On 19 July, at about 12:15 hours, Manipur Rifles escort party traveling in Imphal-bound Moreh bus was fired at. 1 Naik in charge of the escort party was shot dead and another Sepoy was badly wounded. The culprits escaped with 1 sten gun, 2 rifles, and some ammunition. The state government ordered intensive search operation to apprehend the culprit and to recover the lost weapons, to enable the paramilitary forces and, if required, the armed forces also to assist the police, the search, seizure, and apprehension of the culprit and the stolen arms. The Manipur government declared the central district as disturbed area under the Armed Forces Assam and Manipur Special Powers Act 1958. Search operations were, however, carried out by the Manipur Rifles and the Central Reserve Police Force, and no armed forces were called. 6 persons have been arrested so far. A sum of Rs 19,250 out of Rs 19,270 robbed from the bank have been recovered. Also, 138 revolver, 2 country-made pistols, and some ammunition have been recovered from the persons arrested. Following improvement in the law and order situation, the notification declaring Central District as disturbed was revoked on 1/8/1978. City YADVENDRA DUTT. May I know from the government whether this trouble is in the Manipur Valley started after quite a sufficient number of Nagas who received their training had returned from China via the Yunnan province of China, and the Shan and Karin area of Burma. They penetrated into India through those areas and started this trouble. If that is a fact, what steps have government taken in this matter? SHRI DHANIK Lal Mandal. 6 persons have been arrested, as it is said in the statement, and on questioning them, we have come to know that some youth numbering around 20 infiltrated from China and came. It is in Manipur. It has nothing to do with Nagas. It concerns Mekai people. It is a question of Mekai people. Around 20 people came from China and 6 persons has been arrested. One question them, this information has been received. SRI YADVENDRA DUTT. When it is a fact that all the trouble in the northeastern India is based in the jungles of Karin and Shan Arkas of Burma, will the government discuss the matter with the Burmese government and obtain the right of hot pursuit of these elements who are having their bases in the jungles of Burma, and in return offer to the Burmese government the right of hot pursuit of their own rebels who sometimes cross over to Indian territory? Otherwise, this problem will not be fully solved. Will the government consider this proposal and pursue the matter? The Prime Minister, Shri Morarji Desai. The Burmese government themselves are finding it difficult in that area. Therefore, it is not possible to get any help from them in the matter. Sri Saugata Roy. I was in Imphal recently. It seems from the statement of the minister that the government is either unaware of the seriousness of the situation there, or it is trying to gloss over the gravity of the situation. This is not surprising, considering the fact that even ever since the Janata government came to power, not one senior minister of the central government, the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, or the Minister of State for Home Affairs cared to visit this very sensitive state of Manipur. Though the Janata government engineered defections of and brought about the fall of the Congress ministry and brought in a new ministry, no minister, none of them visited this place. There are several serious aspects of the situation, and I want to mention that the BSF arrested near the Moreh on the Burma border a kukri with foreign-made gun. Kabri Chandra Singh, one of the suspected assailants, was trained in China. 20 youth had crossed over from China, and that is the group that is operating in the territory. That is not linked with the underground Nagas, and they are receiving training and help from Lhasas in Tibet from China for forming an independent Manipur. There is very inadequate appreciation of the situation there, and even the governor, Sri L.P. Singh, arrived there 2 days after the declaration was made. The declaration that was made declared Manipur as a disturbed area, had very deep connotation under the Act. Any commission officer, warrant officer, non-commissioned officer, or any other person of equivalent rank in the armed forces may, in the disturbed area, if he is of opinion that it is necessary so to do for the maintenance of public order, after giving such due warning as he may consider necessary. Mr. Speaker, there is no need to read out the whole of it. Sri Saugata Roy. Fire upon or otherwise use force, even to the causing of death, against any person who is acting in contravention of any law and order for the time being in force in the disturbed area, prohibiting assembly. It means he is ordered to shoot to kill. Any non-commissioned officer can do so. And this is in a place where the Janata ministry is in power. They are being given blanket power to kill any person. This is the first time that this is being declared in the Manipur Valley. it has never been declared in the valley before in the context of this facts when the government gets such extraordinary power and it gives so much authority to the armed forces and the border security force. May I ask the government the following question? Whether in view of the fact that the governor was late in arriving, the government is considering the proposal to appoint separate governor for Manipur at Imphal, whether in view of the failure of the present ministry in maintaining law and order, it is thinking of imposing president's rule, whether the government is going to investigate the link that the foreign forces have with people who are demanding an independent Manipur, and whether the Prime Minister is going to visit. Mr. Speaker, no, you cannot go on and on. I'm not allowing. Shri Moraji Desai. The honorable member has asked a number of questions. The first was whether the government was aware of the seriousness or not. Government is certainly aware of the seriousness. Then it is said, why no minister have gone there recently? Shri DHANIK Mandal, I had gone. Shri Moraji Desai, the Minister of State had gone there. I was going there last year, but unfortunately there was an accident and I could not go. I proposed to go there in October, November. This is what I have told them, God willing. Then about the question whether there should be a separate governor for Manipur, it is not going to be possible. Governor would be one for all these states. I have no doubt about it in my mind. Otherwise, it will not be possible to look at it properly. For a small state like that, how could there be a separate governor? I do not know. It is not possible. It is unnecessary, neither is it advisable to do so. Opinions may differ in this matter. I have no quarrel about it. In Pondicherry, it is for different historical reason altogether. That does not apply here at all. Therefore, those people who are trained are being traced and they are being arrested. We are all the while at it. Sri Vasant Satte. In view of the fact that now it has been found out, and the government had also said that about 20 young men were trained in China, and also in view of the fact that we have in our eastern states governments which are softer and closer in their loyalties and alliance to China than even to India. Now that Mr. Vajpayee is likely to go to China, will he take up this specific issue so that once for all a step towards normalization, at least this question of training guerrillas and men from India is stopped? Sri Moraji Desai. This question is bound to be taken up at that time and we will try to see it is not done. Mr. Speaker, Sri Unikrishnan, I'm calling those who have given call attention notices. Sri Moraji Desai. I'm very sorry that my honorable friends should have made a reflection on those states that they are softer to China. Sri Vasant Satte. There are some government in the eastern state, you know the government, Sri Moraji Desai. I do not want to cast any doubt on any government that it is softer towards China. There may be some people like that, but not the government. Sri K.P. Unikrishnan. This is a very serious matter because it involves activities of great national consequences to our security and also because the legitimate right of our brothers in the northeastern region are being trampled upon by these special laws. It is totally in contradiction with the sentiments they have expressed for human rights. If anybody would go through this law, which is called Armed Forces Act, he would find that this is basically a colonial law for repression. There have been many grievances unattended to even by the center. That is the charge which I make, which has led to some discontent, which is being exploited because when we were there, a number of young people from Manipur belonging to many parties came and told us now the center, how Now the center was treating them. Now the point is, when they have taken resort to this act, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Lal, gave a statement that there is perfect normalcy. I want to know how within 24 hours or a few hours after the statement of IG of Police, the situation underwent a transformation. What exactly happened during those hours? Shri Dhanik Lal Mandal. In the very statement which I have laid on the table of the House, the incidents have been repeated. Violent incidents, snatching of arms and killing of police personnel took place. And it is in these circumstances that the Manipur government, in its wisdom, declared that the Manipur Valley to be disturbed area. Now it has been withdrawn because, as the honorary member says, the situation is perfectly under control. Shri K.P. Unikrishnan, I did not say. Shri Dhanik Lal Mandal, I say the situation is under control. Shri K.P. Unikrishnan. The IG said it before. That is my question. You do not understand the question. Shri Dhanik Lal Mandal, I have enumerated the incident, 5 incidents of bank robbery, snatching of arms, and killing of police personnel and Manipur Rifle personnel took place. In the circumstances, the Manipur government declared the Manipur Valley to be a disturbed area. Shri K.P. Unikrishnan, the IG's statement came after this incident. What are you talking? Shri Dhanik Lal Mandal, now the situation is under control and therefore it has been removed. Shri Jyotirmoy Bosu, the northeastern region of ours, namely Nagaland, Mizoram, and part of Manipur has been inhabited by certain tribes like Tangkhul and others. I have been there dozens of times. Would the Prime Minister give an assurance that the inhuman repression and torture that was let loose by the erstwhile government for more than a decade will not be repeated and will not be continued? I want an assurance on this and nothing more. Shri Moraji Desai, I did not know whether any torture was let loose there before. I have no fact to say that. Therefore, I am not joining issue on that matter, but nothing like that will be done. I have no doubt. Strictly, the law will be enforced and any revolt will be suppressed and suppressed ruthlessly. I must make that clear. Shri Janadharna Pujari. In broad daylight, the insurgents waylaid the police personnel, killing 4 officials and also injuring 1. They also looted a bank. This happened not in an inaccessible terrain or forest, but in the populated town of Imphal. There is an element in the population of Imphal town itself which is giving support to this insurgency. We have to find out those elements. Some years ago, there was a movement for the independence of Manipur. Mr. Speaker, come to the question. Shri Janardhana Pujari, the local political leaders have taken active part in it. Even the present-day Janata Party leaders are sympathizing with it. The capacity of the present-day Janata Party government in Manipur to deal firm with the insurgency is highly doubtful. Mr. Speaker, what is the question? Shri Janardhana Pujari, I will come to that. Coming to the central government, you know what has happened. Mr. Speaker, please come to the question. Shri Janardhana Pujari, the central government also took 10 days to protest against the construction of the Karakoram Highway. Mr. Speaker, you are only making a speech. Please come to the question, otherwise I'll pass over you. Shri Janardhana Pujari, as I submitted last time also, you know that the Chinese have been training this Mizo and Naga insurgents in this circumstance. May I know whether the Honorable Prime Minister is going to cancel the visit of Shri Vajpayee to China, and is there any proposal to check the insurgency in Manipur? Mr. Speaker, is there any proposal to cancel the visit of the External Affairs Minister Shri Vajpayee in view of what has happened. Shri Morarji Desai. I could not follow the question. Mr. Speaker, is there any proposal to cancel the visit of Shri Vajpayee to China? Shri Morarji Desai. This visit is very essential. I think it will not be cancelled at all. Shri Bayala Ravi. Because of the location and the peculiar customs and habits of the people of that area, it was with very great difficulty that the people of this area were brought into mainstream of Indian democracy and the mainstream of the Indian situation. Unfortunately, after the change of government, political instability has set in, creating suspicions of all types. Mr. Speaker, please come to the question. Shri Bayalar Ravi, when you are dealing with the whole situation of this area, you have to always take into consideration the peculiar situation prevailing in the parts and see that those people are brought into the mainstream of Indian polity. Shri Morarji Desai, this suggestion is noted. So this detail is a short notice question discussed in the Lok Sabha about Manipur Valley declared as distributed area on 09/08/1978.